I've always said, if your goal is to make $100,000, that's a horrible goal. If I hit 100 grand, then I'm like, okay, there's not as much fulfillment here as I thought.
That's why the goals are so important. It's not about the dollar amount. It's about achieving what they want. And every one of my agents has a different thing that motivates them. Some of them are motivated by money, others by accomplishment, that is part of their career, and others by volunteering and having purpose in the community and being able to do that. So I have to know the dreams and values and what motivates each agent so I can help them get to where they want to be.
Welcome back to the Medicare Sales Playbook. I'm your host, Dallas Keithley, and man, we have been having a great time meeting great people, doing some training and trying to get you off the ground. We want to help you advance your Medicare sales one play at a time. And today, I brought in somebody that I got to visit with recently, and I wanted to learn how she is helping agents determine if they are in the right fit when it comes to their FMO, IMO, LMNOP, whatever you want to call it. And so I brought in Paula Harrington. So Paula, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Dallas.
Yeah, absolutely. Paula, you're with the Enrollment Store?
Yes, the Enrollment Store is under Harrington Insurance Solutions.
Yeah, Allen, Texas, the DFW area. I always joke, I've been to Dallas a million times. I don't know that I've ever been to Dallas though, because you're in Allen or you're in Frisco or Plano or but it's all the big DFW area. So
it's big. It's a big market. Yeah.
Yeah. And getting bigger.
We have 5 counties, 5 very large counties in our market.
In one city. My goodness. But it is a great place to be. I love that area. And I called when I started thinking about having you on the podcast, it was because I got to visit your agency, and we got to go on a night that you guys were bowling and doing different stuff like that. And on the way home, I was talking to my wife. I'm like, there is something different going on there.
Oh, thank you.
And
I think we have something special.
In a good way. Yeah. Okay. I drive home a lot and say, man, that was different, but not always in a good way. But you guys have something very special, and I believe it's on purpose. And there are a lot of agents out there that are looking for a home, and we're not here to recruit for the Enrollment Store or whatever, but there's a lot of agents out there that are looking for a home that they want more than just commission or products or, even training sometimes. Mm-hmm. They want a place where they feel like they belong, because I believe if you enjoy what you do, Henry Ford said you'll never work a day in your life.
Yeah.
So talk to me a little bit about why is it on purpose, and why do you want to create a special place for people?
Absolutely, Dallas. So I think the word purpose is key there. I think everyone wants to find purpose in their lives. Most of the agents that I interview, or new licensees, sometimes we interview them and they don't have their license yet, so we walk them through that process as well. But they love to help people. They have a passion to help others, and they want to feel like they have purpose while they're earning a living. I think those two things combined make it special. And when we interview, we actually have 2 pathways. They could be a direct agent in our downline, be totally independent, and get support from us locally, or they can join our agency team, the Enrollment Store, where we have systems and process and culture, and we become like a family. We've been together over 11 years now.
Yeah, that's incredible. And the 2 things you said there, have a purpose and produce. Some people, they have the passion. Like, I want to help people.
Yeah.
Every time I hear somebody say, I want to get in because I want to help people, that's great. That's a great start. But then they get in and they're like, okay, I want to help people. What do I do?
Exactly.
They don't have that direction, and you guys are providing both. Now, I know you said something. You're not taking everybody that walks in the door and says, I want to work here, right? You are, and I love that. When agencies build a team, one of the first things I try to tell them is, don't take everybody that has a pulse. Definitely. Identify who you want and then go after them. How do you guys do that?
Well, the first thing when we interview is I give them a list of our core values that we have, and I make sure that they have an understanding that those core values are important for our agency, because we want the clients to have an experience that's universal. No matter who their agent is, we want them to have an experience with the Enrollment Store.
Because they're carrying your name.
They're carrying our name, and we need to make sure that we don't ruin each other's reputations. So we want to make sure that we find folks that are a good fit for our agency, both with culture and those core values.
And you know
So
what's
we start
funny
with
is-
that. That's a starting point.
Right. And what's funny is it is then a privilege to be a part of the enrollment store, right? Like if you just hire anybody, your other agents that are there are going to see that and be like, well, when I came in, I thought I was special, but man, they're hiring people just left and right. And, you know, can you breathe? Can you walk, talk, and chew gum? Sign here.
Yeah.
It makes them feel special and they deserve to, or it's a privilege to be there.
Yeah. And we have a 3-year commitment with our enrollment store team. So they give us the first 3 years and we commit to their success. And then after 3 years, agents like choices. As they gain experience, they're going to have a different mindset. And a lot of them want to go off and become direct. So we allow them a pathway to success. I have agents that have been with me 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 years with our agency, but they were given the opportunity to go direct, to buy out their book of business, or to do a cashless buyout, stay underneath us and our upline. So we start out as an agency that wants to build family, but we don't want them to feel like when they commit to that early that they won't have that pathway to grow. And I think that's important.
That's great.
One of the books that I read early on in my career of leading agents or having a company was called Dream Makers. And we did it on one of our very first retreat with my team. We all read the book. And basically the premise behind the book is find out what your employees or your staff, the people you work with, what do they dream of? What are they dreaming for? It might be a 1-year goal, a 3-year goal, a 5-year goal. But I'll give you an example. In that first retreat, one of the agents really wanted her husband to have a truck. He'd been wanting it forever. She got a new car. Then they had teenage drivers, and they all got vehicles. And he always put his needs last. And she's like, this year, I want to buy my husband a truck. And the very next summer, we did a little retreat at the lake, and we rented a boat. We had our team members there, and they drove up in their new truck, their Silverado, and they were so excited because she achieved that goal. Another one of our employees wanted to buy a house just on the other side in the same town, but she wanted her daughter to have a pathway to a different school district within the city. So it took her about 3 years, a couple raises, and raising her credit scores and stuff like that. We talked about how do you achieve that, and so we sat down and helped her to achieve those goals, and that was so rewarding. And we all went over to celebrate her open house and her walkthrough and the housewarming. And I mean, it took 3 years, but it was a 3-year goal. And to watch her celebrate that, and she was a single mom, and to be able to do that for her daughter, and also take care of her mother, was remarkable.
That is really cool. I want to back up though, because I think a lot of agents get in, right? Maybe they work their warm market first, or they buy a set of leads or something like that, and they work really, really hard and they make some money, and they find out that money, I've always said, if your goal is to make $100,000, that's a horrible goal, because in my opinion, it's like saying I'm going to run a quarter mile. If I say I'm going to run a quarter mile, I'm never going to run farther than a quarter mile or a mile or whatever. If I hit $100,000, then I'm like, okay, there's not as much fulfillment here as I thought.
That's why the goals are so important. It's not about the dollar amount. It's about achieving what they want. And every one of my agents has a different thing that motivates them. Some of them are motivated by money, others by accomplishment, that is part of their career, and others by volunteering and having purpose in the community and being able to do that. So I have to know the dreams and values and what motivates each agent so I can help them get to where they want to be. And then sometimes it's also helping them change their mindset. Maybe they didn't have the mindset to know that they could get here, and they were holding themselves back.
Right.
So that's another, it's very fulfilling for me. That's my purpose and passion, is to motivate, help others, lead them, develop them.
So you're talking to a lot of new agents out there right now, and a lot of agents that you may be sitting there talking to someone right now that's listening that is like, you know what? I don't have room for dreams and goals. I want to feed my family, and I want to pay my bills and not get evicted. Right? Like, we've been there.
Yeah, we've all been there.
What do you say to them, and how do you change that mindset to make them believe that, hey, you are worthy of having dreams and goals?
Well, one of the things I did as a parent, and I learned this through parenting with my kids, you speak into them what you want them to become. So you start speaking those truths that you believe in that and believe in them. But then sometimes it's the basics of breaking down, how many policies do they have to sell to make that amount of money? And then what kind of activity do they have to set that many appointments and get their closing ratio up? So we meet with our agents and we have coaching meetings with them. My veteran agents have been around. We do it like every 2 months. I work more closely with the first year and second year agents. The third year agents is probably every 2 months. We review their profit loss sheets. I don't teach them just how to make money. That's in the beginning. But I also teach them how to get their arms around their business, how to track their business, how to pay attention to cost. It costs money to be in business, and you invest. And so we're mentoring, we're coaching so that when they get to that 3-year mark with us, if they've joined our Enrollment Store team, they really have a good idea. Can they duplicate what they've been taught? Can they build for themselves an agency? Can they start teaching others to do what they do? And I believe if we model that correctly and we do a good job with that they are going to be able to take themselves to the next level.
That is incredible, because watching agencies across the country, I think a lot of people just do what's called insurance lottery, where they hope their business succeeds and they, you are going above and beyond and creating agents that are running small businesses that can grow into big businesses. I'm going to be a little facetious. Bear with me here. Wouldn't it just be easier just to go write business for yourself?
So I talk about, this is my passion. I want to be the Ebby Halliday, which is one of our real estate firms in Dallas. It's like a Remax or Keller Williams. I want to be the Ebby Halliday of the insurance industry in DFW area, where they have a place to get licensed and grow and dream big. That's my personal goal for myself. And so I want to I don't want to hold them back. I want to help them to fly. That's my goal and my dream. And so if I'm just looking at the money or top line revenue or drilling into profit margin just for the agency's doing great. But I can afford to bring on new ones and have the more mature agents spread their wings and fly. And that's really fulfilling for me and my purpose.
I'm going to keep going. But isn't it hard when you see Bob there? Bob's got all the potential in the world. Bob can speak. Bob is smart. Bob is... he's got friends and family. He has no problem, but he doesn't have the drive, or he doesn't have the passion, or let's just call it what it is. Bob may be lazy. Isn't it hard to invest, and then
at some point you have to cut it off? To be honest with you,
you know when to cut it off. Yeah,
you speak truth and love to folks. You show them where they can make improvements, but it is at some point their choice. So I could fit a $35,000 producer into my business model. It's just going to help the top line revenue, but I can't get them to where I know they can potentially go if they don't have that mindset. It does take helping to build the mindset. And that's one reason, I joined my upline team, is because we all run in that same direction. We motivate each other. We inspire each other. And I think that's important.
Okay.
I want to become more like people you surround yourselves with.
100%. Now, I want to go there next, because how long have you been in the business now?
18 years.
18 years. You still, I've called you before and you said, sorry, I couldn't answer. I was online with my business coach. You still pour into yourself.
I do.
And recognize the importance. And I think that's where the strength comes to pour into others, right? So basically you're not... It's almost, I used to go to an amusement park, Silver Dollar City, and they had this like illusion where there was just a spigot hanging in the air and the water was coming out of the spigot. And I think a lot of times that's how we feel. There's nothing being poured into us, but we feel like we're being drained just all the time. Why do you continue to pour into yourself?
I always have been. I've been a lifelong learner. Yeah. I know that if I have the mindset, there's always an over, an around, or a through when I have an obstacle. And sometimes I might not think of it, but I could get someone else, get feedback and input from someone else. So I've always, since day one, and I've had different business coaches. They've served different purposes. So the one I have right now is more building a business mindset. I think coaches I had earlier on was building a me mindset of helping me stretch and grow. And the coach I have now is helping me stretch and grow what the agency can do for others.
Stretching and growing can hurt, right?
Yep.
But once you get done, you're like, okay, that didn't, it's like going to yoga, which I hear. It hurts, but then you walk away, you're like, you know what? I feel a lot better. So let me kind of, I want to wrap it up with this. I think one of the things that you do very well, and the reason that you do what you do very well, is you do a great job in incorporating your whole life into one thing. What I mean by that, I happen to know you're a lady of faith. You believe in people. You have people, though, in your agency, I know, that may not have the same views that you do.
Correct.
But you incorporate it all. And how do you do that? You're not pushing into them, but you're still showing them that you love them and that you want them to succeed.
I think I try to bring out the best in people.
Yeah.
And I try to point that out to them.
Yeah.
And even when they don't see it in themselves sometimes. And I've had a lot of success with that. If someone says yes to me, like they want to give me that commitment, I'm going to give them that commitment back.
Yeah.
And you're right. Every once in a while, it is numbers when you recruit. Every once in a while, you have someone that doesn't make it. But I realize it's not my failing. I have the same systems and processes and heart to pour into each one of them. And, I went to every single one of my agents. I said, do you want to go direct? You've been with me for, 6-7 years. Would you like to reconsider? And we looked at their numbers. They had a chance and opportunity. And a majority of them said, you know what? I really enjoy selling. We're like a family, and I don't want to go out there. And
what that means is, from an outsider looking in, because if I'm looking at it from a financial standpoint, going direct is I'm going to use air quotes on Spotify or whatever we're listening to. Going direct is the smarter financial decision. But what you've taught people is there is value other than just money. There's value in family. There's value in friendship. There's value in the connection and the camaraderie.
Brainstorming, piggybacking ideas, sharing marketing ideas, sharing collateral.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So
goes a long ways.
Yep. Let's finish with this. What are some goals that maybe, and you don't have to get in particular, but what are some goals that you or some of your people have that you're getting close to that you want to see cross the line?
I have a couple younger agencies that, or younger agents that are moving to direct and starting to build teams under them. So I'm helping to coach them with that business set mentality, going from personal production to growth and agency. Yeah.
Insurance grandma.
Yeah.
I like it. Yeah.
Okay.
That is great.
Yeah. And so for me, to help them to succeed is a personal goal. And then within our agency is a lot more cross-selling, the retirement products that we're offering with our retirement team, the life insurance, because we started out with employer group, added individual, added Medicare over the years. And by the way, our Medicare market now outperforms all three of those other verticals.
Wow. Did you ever think there'd be a day when you say that?
No, but the residual income, it adds up. It's real. So just to inspire people.
I love it. So we did, the podcast today was a little bit different, right? We didn't do a lot of training we did on how to set goals and stuff like that. But more than anything, I want people to get this. Find a place that's home. Sometimes I was in an agency for a long time where it wasn't home, but I didn't want to hurt other people. Sometimes you have to, I love what you said, speak truth in love and say, hey, you know what? If people want to get a hold of you, and if I know you would call, they don't have to be a member of your agency for you to help them. Yeah. What's the best way to get a hold of you?
I would say text me, 214-732-3355.
We'll put that there, and that's kind of you to share that. Just don't abuse it.
And I did want to also mention on the heels of what you just said, find a home. Try to have your contracts all in one place. When you have a contract over here with one FMO and another, no one's going to totally pour all into you.
Right.
It's, that would be my best advice is interview wisely, find an agency or an FMO that lines up with your core values, that they have a pathway to success and a plan that fits you and your goals and objective, and then stick it out for a while. because that's how it's one transaction at a time, helping one person at a time. I tell my agents visibility, credibility leads to profitability.
Wow. Hope you all wrote that down. Awesome. Well, thank you very much. Great job
Thanks
as
for
always.
having me. That was fun.
Of course. Yeah, absolutely. Well, guys, thank you again for tuning into the Medicare Sales Playbook. Follow us, subscribe, do all the things that all the cool kids are doing. Reach out to Paula and talk with her. She's an experienced agent that is willing to listen, help you learn, help you grow. And I hope you got something today learning. Don't just be an agent. Find a home and be a part of a family. That's what today was all about. Thank you, guys. Thanks, Adam. Thank you again, Miss Paula, for all that you do. We will see you next time on the Medicare Sales Playbook.